What do you know about the birth rate around the world? What do you know about it?
I just know that Korean birth rate is about zero point 0.7, and it's one of the like lowest in the world. Actually, that's the all I know.
How much have you heard about it?
So I said I'm double majoring in education also. So a lot of people in education wants to be a teacher, but a lot of people these days are quitting in that path because there's no children, so there's no jobs for a teacher, obviously. So I know some of those things, and yeah, I think in South Korea, governments are really trying to like encourage some young people to get like married and get some babies, but it's not working well actually. I think you'll know much, and it's not working.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it would be that difficult, but it seems to be. How about someone else? What do you know about the birth rate?
I'm not sure, but I think that it's in a recession due to like the inflation and the high expenses. Because like having children is really expensive, and like for example, from what I know from like the people around me, like nowadays they just want to have like 2 or 4 max, but like back in like in the days, like they used to have a lot of children in Saudi Arabia. Like for example, my aunt has like 12, and I have like 7. My mom has like 7 siblings, and my dad has 6. So and nowadays, it's like getting lower.
Listen, man, the Korean government would love to have you want to have 4 kids. To have people around you wanted to have 2 or 4 kids. That would be great.
I know that it's going down like everywhere. It's most of what I know is just from here. I know it's going down here. Recently, it's been low. I think a lot of it has to do with like money and cost to have a child, and I think also some people are doing it in rebellion of the abortion laws. I think some people are scared to have children. So
When you say it's going down, what are you hearing from people who are talking about it? That it's a good thing, it's a problem, it's a, what
it kind of varies. I think there's people on one side being like, this is a good thing, it's in protest in a way. And then I think there's people on the other side being like, this isn't a good thing, we need to keep the population going. But it's really mixed.
I haven't done much research, so I'm not sure. But
So you don't hear people talking about it?
No, but I remember when I did research on Nigeria, it is going up, but that's just a different thing.
Have you heard anything about that it's a problem? Have you kind of caught on to that at all?
Here or
Anywhere in the world?
I heard it's declining, and that's the most I know.
That's what makes this conversation really interesting. And it's good to have you. It's good that you can represent Nigeria in this way, because Nigeria has a really interesting role to play. What do you think you'd like to know about the declining birth rate?
Maybe the reasons, like we all know, like obviously economy is bad, so people are refraining from having kids, but like have we actually done research and surveyed people on why they don't want to have kids? Or if they can have kids?
Yep. We have, but you all are going to talk. You're going to be a sample of 4 here. Is there anything else that anybody wants to know? Have any particular questions? Out of curiosity?
There's a lot of reasons why people doesn't get babies, but I only know some reasons in East Asia, focus in East Asia. So I want to know like why other people on like Western side or like, other areas are not having babies.
Whoa, okay, that's where we're going to start the conversation. So, here's Korea and Japan. So Luna mentioned the birth rate in Korea being below 1. And what's important, what you need to know is that for a society, for a collective group to reproduce itself, every single woman in that group has to have 2.1 children. Or that group or community or society or nation, whatever it is, can't reproduce itself. So it's going to lose population, and then eventually over time it will no longer exist because there will be nobody there because you're not having kids. It might, if the birth rate is really, really low, like 0.7, and it's closer to 0.8 right now in Korea, that means that it's going to happen much more quickly than, say, the United States, that it's not. It's below 2.1, but not as far below. Okay, so it takes time. It's not like a country's gonna extinguish itself. In 1955, Korea was women on average. Women were having over 6 children per woman. That means some woman that didn't have kids, somebody else has to have 12. You see what I mean? It has to balance out. Like, that's what was happening there. That's what those numbers mean. So these are fertility rate. These are the world's 10 biggest countries. So fertility rate, that means the average number of kids each woman will have in her lifetime. And look at that, man. Look at say like Nigeria, for example. It drops. Everything drops. Ethiopia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia. The US is 1.6. Russia, China's 1.0. Okay? Remember, for these countries to reproduce themselves, it needs to be 2.1. Here's Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the UAE. Look at Saudi Arabia, you're above 2.1. So like you're holding it down, but it's still 2.1, 2.3 basically. They asked Chinese college students, both men and women, about having kids. How many children do you want? And look at the number on the far right. So the women are in red and the men are in the green color. And look at almost like 35, going on 40% of women, Chinese women, college-age women, are saying, we don't want to have kids at all. No kids. And in the largest number who say that, okay, we'll have kids, they only want to have one. So, look at that. And look at the women and men who want to have 3 or more kids. It's almost nothing. It's almost zero. So this is big. Here's just the population of India and China. So these are the world's 2 largest countries by population. And look at right now, they're basically the same population, about 1.4 billion people. But look, India's going to go up and China's just starting to drop. And it's just going to continue to drop and drop and drop. And then eventually India is going to do the same thing. Okay, so check this out. Nigeria is going to be, in 2050, that's 25 years, is going to be the world's 3rd largest nation. This is, you don't think about that. The world's 3rd largest nation behind India and China. And that's quite clear. And then the US, and look, Indonesia, Pakistan, it just kind of, you really just see where the population is headed. Does that surprise you? Have you heard that about Nigeria?
Not surprised.
Yeah, why not? Like, what is it about Nigeria that you feel like?
I think there's a very strict timeline with like the youths and stuff. Like, you graduate from high school, secondary school, and then you go to college, and then right after that, you have to get married and start having children.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pressure from society. If you don't follow that timeline, like there's shame on you.
Yeah, which is very different thing in Korea. In Saudi also, right?
I think this would be the same for Saudi Arabia, and that's why it's higher than the UAE in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. It's more enclosed, right? It's just more, yeah.
No, but like, just like how she said, like, it would be like a shame if you like didn't have like, you didn't get married and have
Do
children.
you know any women who don't have kids? Who are married and have decided not to have children?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's my mom's cousin, and I think she's like 60 years old. She's married and she doesn't have any children.
Is it talked about? Was it by choice? Do you not even know?
To be honest, I think it's because she's disabled.
Okay.
That's why.
You don't know, so it's not necessarily by choice, okay? So
Yeah.
it's probably going to be really rare that women are going to make the choice to not have children.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
Whereas Cecilia, for you, that's not. How many women do you know who don't have kids?
A lot.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot more normalized now than it has been in the past. Even to have children and not be married, and then be married and not have children, I feel like both are very normalized now.
So what Igosa is saying about the shame, the pressure to have kids, how often
I don't know. I don't think that's as much of a thing. I think it's more by family.
Yeah.
Like if your family is pressuring you to, but I don't think it's like a very like all of America is
It doesn't resonate.
no.
Luna, does that resonate with you? The pressure?
So, like what she said, it was like normal to get pressure to like get married like 30 years ago, like 40, 30 years ago, back in South Korea. But nowadays, I have a lot of friends who is like not friends, like who is like 10 years older and
Yeah.
who got married and like choose not to have babies. Like, yeah, there's a lot.
And let me hang on. I want to do one quick thing. I want to just come back. I'm going to ask you what the issue is. I want to show you one last slide. Okay, take a look at this. Here's where the birth rate continues to be pretty high. Right there. That's the 20 nations in the world, countries in the world that are holding it down and having kids. So it's very interesting to see where, and the red at the far left, that's like the more quickly the population is going to double. The 20 years on the far left and 29 years on the far right. When you think about where's the population of the world going to be in 2050 and 2070, this is it right here. These are the places. So as everybody else loses labor, like the Koreans and the Saudis, if the birth rate keeps going down, you're going to be turning to Africa for labor. So ironic, so bizarre that becomes. For many years, when I was growing up, we had an overpopulation crisis. We were trying to get people to have less kids. Like there's too many kids in the world. Oh my God, have fewer kids, right? But now suddenly there's fewer kids and everyone's saying, "Oh my God, you need to have more kids." Why are we saying we need to have more kids? And anybody can answer this, but you can. Why do we need more children? What's going to happen when the birth rate does that?
So human is resources, and the resources is decreasing. So economy would be like, like GDP or anything like that would be like bad, and yeah,
It gets society, the economic system, and social system become transformed. Like what you said, closing schools. One of the things, one of the places we filmed in Seoul is in a school in this neighborhood that is closed. It's a nice school. It wasn't built that long ago, and it's just got a fence around it, and it's closed. There's nobody there. All the kids, because there are no kids to go to the school.
Yeah.
So
Maybe because we're not gonna have like enough people, like for example, like enough doctors, teachers in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, who's going to take care of? Look, when the population pyramid changes and there's nobody at the bottom, who's there to take care of the people at the top?
Yeah, because like when the old people retire, who's gonna take care of that in the future?
Dude, the number one question my wife and I have, what we've said all along, not having kids, is all we know is we got to pay somebody to wipe our rear ends when we can't do it for ourselves, man. Like that's the statement. Like, yep, who's going to do that for us? And like, how do you do? What do you got to do?
I feel like there's probably a lot of different reasons and some reasons that we probably don't know. And I just feel like the rapid change is what's scary, and they might not even know why exactly, but it just something changing that rapidly. They think there's some underlying issue maybe that they have to solve.
Yeah, well, it's the entire social system has to be restructured. You have people who are not contributing to the economy in the same way. You're not growing out. You're not, to be able, unless you can invest in robotics, which is, like some countries can. AI and robotics and really use it. And so you don't need so many people, but otherwise you really got it. Like in Korea, I can go to a restaurant and I can sit down at the table and I can order from an iPad on the table, and a robot comes in through the restaurant and brings my food. And I take it off the tray and the robot goes back. And if I want something else, I just go there. And so you only need a couple of people working at the restaurant.